The story of the dinosaurs is one we think we know well. We imagine colossal beasts shaking the ground, with the indomitable Tyrannosaurus rex ruling as the undisputed king. For decades, paleontologists have pieced together this ancient world, but significant gaps have always remained in the narrative. How did these giants get so big? What did their ancestors look like? Today, on June 13, 2025, the scientific community has announced a discovery that provides a stunning new piece of this puzzle, a creature that bridges the evolutionary divide. It is a new species of Tyrannosaur, unearthed not from the field, but from the quiet, dusty shelves of a museum collection. Meet Khankhuuluu mongoliensis, the dragon prince of ancient Mongolia. This remarkable find was spearheaded by a dedicated team of researchers, led by the brilliant paleontologists Darla Zelenitsky and Jared Voris from the University of Calgary. They didn't need to mount a massive expedition to the Gobi Desert to find their prize. Instead, their expedition took them into the archives, examining fossils that had been collected during Mongolian expeditions back in the early 1970s. For over 50 years, these bones sat in storage, their true identity unknown. It was only through the team's meticulous re-examination that the significance of two partial skeletons was finally revealed. They belonged to a creature unlike any tyrannosaur known before, a new genus and species that lived approximately 86 million years ago. The name, Khankhuuluu mongoliensis, is a powerful tribute to its origins. Khankhuuluu translates to dragon prince in Mongolian, honoring the rich cultural heritage of the land where these incredible fossils were found. The name also perfectly captures the essence of this animal. It wasn't the king, not yet, but it was royalty in the making. It represents a crucial chapter in the Tyrannosaur saga, a time when the lineage was experimenting with new body plans and behaviors. This discovery reinforces Mongolia's status as one of the most important places on Earth for understanding the final age of dinosaurs, a true treasure trove of prehistoric life that continues to offer up its secrets. The announcement of the Dragon Prince sends a jolt of excitement through the world of paleontology. Every new species adds a new sentence to the story of life, but a new tyrannosaur adds a whole new chapter. These were the dominant predators of their time, and understanding their evolution is key to understanding the ecosystems they inhabited. Khankhuuluu steps out from the shadows of its more famous cousin T-Rex to tell its own story, a story of a world in transition, where the path to giant size and bone-crushing power was not yet a certainty. It is a ghost from a lost world, finally given a name and a place in the grand history of our planet. When we hear the word Tyrannosaur, our minds immediately conjure an image of T-Rex, a behemoth with a massive head, teeth like railroad spikes and tiny arms. But Khankhuuluu mongoliensis paints a very different picture. This was not a slow, lumbering brute. Instead, it was a creature built for speed and agility. Standing about 2 meters tall at the hips and measuring roughly 6 meters from its nose to the tip of its tail, it was a mid-sized predator. Its estimated weight of around 750 kilograms made it a lightweight compared to the multi-ton giants that would follow millions of years later. The most striking features of the dragon prince are its long, slender legs. These were the limbs of a runner, suggesting a dinosaur that likely chased down its prey with bursts of speed rather than overpowering it with brute force. This body plan is more reminiscent of the earliest smaller tyrannosauroids, which were nimble hunters that darted through the undergrowth. Khankhuuluu shows that this agile blueprint was not just an early experiment, but was retained and refined well into the late Cretaceous. It occupied a different ecological niche, thriving as a swift pursuit predator in an environment it shared with other larger carnivores. Its skull also tells a fascinating story. Unlike the heavily reinforced wide skull of T-Rex, designed to withstand incredible bite forces, the skull of Khankhuuluu was more lightly built. This indicates that its jaws were not made for crushing bone. Instead, it likely used its sharp, blade-like teeth to slice through the flesh of smaller, faster prey. It was a finesse hunter, relying on precision and speed. This anatomical detail is crucial, as it shows that not all tyrannosaurs evolved along the same path. For millions of years, multiple types of tyrannosaurs coexisted, each adapted to a different lifestyle. Comparing Khankhuuluu to T-Rex is like comparing a cheetah to a lion. Both are formidable feline predators, but they hunt in vastly different ways. The dragon prince was the cheetah of its time, sleek, fast, and deadly. It didn't need to be the biggest carnivore on the block because it had its own unique set of skills. This diversity is what made the Tyrannosaur family so successful. They weren't a monolithic line of ever-growing giants, they were a branching, adaptive dynasty of predators that conquered their world by diversifying into every available predatory role, big and small. For a long time, the Tyrannosaur family tree had a frustratingly large gap. Paleontologists had fossils of small early tyrannosauroids from the Jurassic and early Cretaceous periods, and they had the colossal apex predators like T-Rex and Tarbosaurus from the very end of the Cretaceous. But the middle part of the story, the transition from small and speedy to huge and powerful, was murky, represented by only a few fragmentary fossils. Khankhuuluu mongoliensis, living 86 million years ago, fits squarely into this gap. It is a near-perfect transitional form that helps connect the dots in the evolutionary journey of the most famous dinosaurs. This dinosaur provides a snapshot of what tyrannosaurs were like during a critical but poorly understood period of their evolution. It lived just before the lineage made its final leap to gigantic sizes. Its combination of features, the ancestral long legs and lightweight build, combined with a body size that was starting to become substantial, shows us the evolutionary path in action. It demonstrates that tyrannosaurs first scaled up their bodies while still retaining the agile characteristics of their smaller ancestors. The bone-crushing bite and massively reinforced skull of T-Rex were later developments, the final weapons added to an already formidable predatory arsenal. The existence of Khankhuuluu challenges the simplistic idea that tyrannosaurs evolved in a straight line, steadily getting bigger over time. Instead, it suggests a more complex pattern where multiple lineages of tyrannosaurs existed simultaneously, some staying small and agile, others experimenting with larger sizes. The dragon prince represents one of these experiments, a successful mid-sized predator that held its own for millions of years. It wasn't a lesser version of T-Rex, it was a highly successful animal perfectly adapted to its environment and its time. It was a crucial step on the long road to tyranny. This discovery is like finding a long-lost photograph of your great-grandparents. It suddenly makes sense of where certain family traits came from. In the same way, Khankhuuluu helps us understand how the unique features of T-Rex came to be. It shows that the family's success was built on a foundation of speed and agility. Only later, when the opportunity arose, did some members of the family trade that speed for overwhelming power. The Dragon Prince is not just another dinosaur, it is a key witness to one of the most dramatic evolutionary transformations in the history of life on Earth. One of the most compelling aspects of the Khankhuuluu story is not where it was found, but when. The bones of this incredible dinosaur were not recently dug out of the Mongolian rock. They were collected in the early 1970s during one of the legendary joint paleontological expeditions between Soviet and Mongolian scientists. For half a century, these precious fossils were carefully stored in a museum collection, just waiting for the right pair of eyes. They were catalogued and preserved, but, their full importance remained unrecognized among thousands of other specimens. This is a powerful testament to the immense value of museum collections. Museums are not just places where the public goes to see old bones. They are vibrant libraries of natural history, archives of life itself. Every drawer and every shelf holds a potential discovery, a piece of a puzzle that might rewrite our understanding of the past. The work of paleontologists Zielinitsky and Voris highlights this perfectly. Their keen eyes and deep knowledge of tyrannosaur anatomy allowed them to spot the subtle, unique features in these old bones that others had missed. It was a discovery born of patience, curiosity, and the painstaking work of museum curators who have cared for these collections for generations. This find serves as a crucial reminder that discovery is not always about swinging a pickaxe in a remote desert. Sometimes, the greatest treasures are already in our possession, hidden in plain sight. There are countless fossils sitting in museum storerooms around the world, collected decades ago, that have yet to be fully studied. Each one could be a new species, a new clue to a prehistoric mystery. The story of Khankhuuluu is a call to action for institutions to invest in their collections, and for a new generation of scientists to explore these indoor fossil fields. Without the foresight of those original collectors and the diligence of museum staff, the story of the Dragon Prince might have remained untold forever. This discovery is as much a celebration of museum science as it is of paleontology. It underscores the fact that the work of understanding our planet's history is a continuous, multi-generational effort. The fossils collected by one generation may yield their greatest secrets to the next. The legacy of those 1970s expeditions lives on today, proving that a trip to the museum archives can be just as thrilling and world-changing as a journey to the Badlands. The unveiling of Khankhuuluu mongoliensis does more than just add a new name to the list of dinosaurs. It fundamentally enriches our understanding of how ecosystems worked in the late Cretaceous and how apex predators evolve. It confirms that for much of their reign, tyrannosaurs were not solitary giants but a diverse group of carnivores. The Dragon Prince lived in a world where it had to compete, a world where the title of Tyrant King had not yet been claimed. Its existence forces us to imagine a more complex and dynamic prehistoric environment, filled with a variety of hunters of different sizes and strategies. This discovery shines a spotlight once again on Mongolia as a critical location for paleontology. The rocks of the Gobi Desert have given us some of the most spectacular dinosaur fossils ever found, from fighting dinosaurs to nesting parents. Khankhuuluu continues this legacy, proving that this region is essential for understanding the final chapter of the dinosaur age, particularly the evolution of the tyrannosauroids that dominated Asia and North America. It solidifies the idea that Asia may have been the cradle from which the giant tyrannosaurs first emerged before some of their descendants crossed over into North America. Ultimately, the Dragon Prince is a lesson in evolution itself. Evolution is not a simple linear march toward a predetermined goal. It is a sprawling, branching bush of trial and error. Khankhuuluu is a beautiful example of one of those branches, a successful, well-adapted creature that represents a key moment in the history of its family. It teaches us that to become the king, T-Rex's ancestors had to first be princes, and before that, they were nimble courtiers. This new fossil provides the evidence we needed to tell that part of the story with confidence, filling in the narrative of how a dynasty rises to power. The story of the dinosaurs is far from over. It is being written and rewritten with every new discovery, whether it comes from a windswept cliffside or a quiet museum drawer. Khankhuuluu mongoliensis is a thrilling new character in this epic tale. What are your thoughts on the Dragon Prince? How do you think this discovery changes our view of the world of T-Rex? We invite you to share your questions and theories, to join the conversation, and to continue exploring the incredible lost world of the dinosaurs with us. Thank you for watching.